Well, I'm Carolyn Richardson, and we're going to do gingerbread houses today. On the 19th of this month, there's going to be a gingerbread house contest here at the mall, which is a fundraiser for the McDonald House, which will be built out at the community hospital campus. So for those people who are perhaps going to be building gingerbread houses for the first time, I thought I'd give you some tips. I've been doing them for many years and enjoying them. It's a lot of fun. So I want to start from the very beginning. When I do gingerbread houses, the first thing I do is I design my pattern out on graph paper as to exactly what I want to do, the sides, the roof, the chimneys, and everything I design out on graph paper. Then I transpose that onto waxed freezer paper. It's waxed on one side and plain on the other. I take my pattern and I get it onto the freezer paper, because this here wax side, of course, that's to keep the freezer burn from your chicken and your roast beef. It also keeps the gingerbread off the paper. So, and this is a wonderful thing when you have to cut. A basic gingerbread house takes, really just the basic house, takes three pieces of pattern. Your front and back, you cut this one twice. Your sides, cut that one twice. And your roof. So just the basic house would only need three pieces. Then when you go into more elaborate things such as chimneys and a second room and maybe a woodshed and that sort of thing, you'll need more pieces to cut, as you can see from my patterns. But the basic one only takes three pieces. And that's what we have here, is a basic house. And that was what this one was, just the basic three pieces, and then I made a little bell tower on the top. And so then I roll out my gingerbread and I use these for cutting. Now I brought a little leftover gingerbread. We didn't have too much left over, but we had a little leftover gingerbread. So I would like to show you what I feel is the best way to do this. It's very pliable, very easy to take care of, very delicious and smells wonderful. What I do is use the back side of a cookie sheet. I roll the gingerbread out on the back side of the cookie sheet, keeping it from sliding around is why I'm doing it in one direction here, till it's approximately 1/8 of an inch thick, like so. You can see the thickness here. Then I take my piece and lay it on. I use a pizza cutter for cutting. Very easy to get your cuts with the pizza cutter. Now, if this piece of gingerbread here is going to have, say for instance, a window, then I go ahead and score that now before it goes in the oven. And you have your window scored. I often like to use cookie cutters too for my windows. And they just make just a fancier window, and you use one or two cuts with the cookie cutter for the window. Now then, when it goes into the oven, you'll have your straight sides. When it comes out of the oven, it has spread and it looks like this. You see the difference here. So while it's still hot, and it must be hot, and it cools quickly, but while it's still hot, I will then take my pattern and put it back over the piece, say it's just come out of the oven, and cut the edges off to make it nice and straight again like it was before it went into the oven. And this is the way that it would come out then after I've cut it the second time. In In construction, they say measure twice, cut once. In gingerbread, you measure once and you cut twice, before it goes in the oven and when it comes back out again. That way you've got a straight side to piece your other pieces to, and they'll fit together so much better. So that will take care of our cutting. Now when you're baking it in the oven, you have to watch it pretty closely. It will start to brown really soon. However, if you're doing large pieces such as roof or whatnot, then I say to cook it a little bit overdone. Once you've got a little dark edges here, that makes it a little stronger. Your roofs need to be a little bit stronger than the sides and the front do. Or once you put all your decoration and your frosting on top, they'll have a tendency to start caving in. I don't know how many of you can remember the very large country cabin that one of our local restaurants did for the contest last year, and the roof fell in. No, because it was a very big piece of gingerbread. It had been placed on top of the sides and the front while it was still not, I wouldn't say warm, but it hadn't set overnight. And that made it not as strong as it should have been, and then with the frosting on top, it began to sink down. Another thing that you can do to strengthen your roof is take your royal icing and spread some on the back side of your roof. Spread your royal icing back here. This royal icing will harden very, very hard, and that will give the roof some more strength and durability. Now, a lot of people like to frost all of their pieces on the inside like this, especially if they're going to put lights in their gingerbread house, because that reflects the light back, and your gingerbread house will have a nicer glow, a brighter glow, if you frost all of your pieces on the inside. It'll also make for a very strong gingerbread house, and the children will like it more because it's that much more sugar. Royal icing is known as, in the frosting world, as frosting glue, because it hardens very hard. This is what you make your roses out of for wedding cakes and things like that. It's not a very tasty frosting, but it is a good frosting for keeping your pieces together and decorating with. I do like to put flavoring in my royal icing, such as lemon flavoring, and that does add a lot to the flavor, and also lemon goes very well with the gingerbread. And so that's another idea. After you have trimmed your gingerbread coming out of the oven, this is what you end up with, all these little pieces. All these little pieces can be used to make fences, to make wood piles, or just to sit in front of the TV and nibble on with a cup of tea. You know, they're delicious, they're good, and there are so many different things. Often I will cut them in such a way that I can make a little awning on the front, or a balcony, such as you might see right here. There's a balcony on the back here, and a balcony on the front. Those are just pieces that I've cut from trimmings. This here one here, baked up last night. Now, gingerbread house building, they call it a weekend project, and it is, really. It's a 2-day thing. You bake your gingerbread one day, you put it together and decorate it the next day. It should sit and set and harden so that it will have the strength to handle all the decorations and to handle all the frosting. So also I like to decorate the pieces before I put them together. But last year when I gave this demonstration, I made the mistake of bringing them unset, and we had a little problem getting it all to stand up in the short amount of time that we had. So I put them together, a few pieces together last night. Now let's talk about windows. There are a lot of different ways that you can do windows. You'll notice on this gingerbread house here, she took frosting and she drew her windows. That's a nice, easy way of doing it. That's a good way for children also to do their windows. Or in the case of this here one here, where I cut the windows out and then fill them with something else. And there's a lot of things that you can fill them with. For instance, you can take lifesavers and ground them up. Take your pieces that you have cut in your gingerbread out just as soon as you take it out of the oven. It's still hot, and you slip these pieces out, take the lifesavers, grind them up, make sure that you've got a piece of wax paper on the back side of this piece, and fill it with the ground lifesavers. Just fill the whole hole up. Shut your oven off and put the pieces back in, just long enough for that to melt. That'll be about 4 minutes. In about 4 minutes, it will melt down into a window. Be sure to let that cool. As long as these have to sit overnight before they set up, then letting it cool inside here overnight is a really good idea. And now, last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, as I am doing all these different pieces, I had taken some grape lifesavers, ground them up, set them in the holes, and put them back in the oven and let them melt. And then my cat got into a terrible cat fight out on the back porch, and I ran out onto the back porch to save his life, forgetting these were in the oven. Consequently, I got little bubbles in here. That's because it boiled instead of just melting. So you have to watch and make sure that you get them out within 4 minutes. And then you will have a nice, colorful window. These right here, what I did was I ground up pineapple flavored lifesavers, and then I just poured it out onto wax paper in several different sizes and shapes and let it cool. Then that also can be, with royal icing, set in the back, and you have a window. Now, when you're using ones like this and the lights inside, it gives you a really beautiful translucent light that comes through these windows. Or you can make your own glass candy, which is 1 cup of sugar, 1/4 of a cup of Caro syrup, and 1/4 of a cup of water. And you boil it to the hard crack, which on your candy thermometer would be 290 degrees. And once it has come up to that hard crack, then pour it out onto wax paper or saran wrap and make your windows in whatever size you wish to make them, and whatever color. You can add, after you have boiled it up to a hard crack, take it off the stove, let it settle down, all the bubbles to settle down, then you can add a couple of drops of coloring to it, and then you'll have whatever color you like. Like yellow would be beautiful, looks like candlelight coming through the gingerbread house when you've got the lights inside. We have at places like Walmart and Target and Shopko and all those different little stores like that, or big stores like that we have around town, they have the battery operated twinkle lights, which is 10 lights to a string with the battery. So what you would do is cut a hole in this is cardboard covered with foil, cut a hole up through the top, bring your lights up inside here. You can attach them to the inside walls, or you could just set them on the floor, whichever you would wish. And then I like to take little round wooden beads and glue them to the bottom of the cardboard so that they have little feet. That way your wires can come out underneath and no one will see them. Sometimes I like put 3 of the twinkle lights up in here and let the rest sit underneath. And then there's this little glow that goes on underneath with these wooden beads that hold it up like little feet. Then you just set your battery somewhere in the back. If you had Christmas trees made from frosting and cookie or whatever, that would help hide the battery towards the back. Or, of course, you can use regular twinkle lights that are electric. If you've got an outlet somewhere in your house that you want to set your gingerbread house up at that has got an electric plug-in, that will work really well. Now then, when I set my pieces up, you need them to set for a few minutes before they fully are attached. So I like to use these spice jars. They're just the right size to put on each side to keep the pieces from falling over. Also, when you put the roof on, they're just the right size to hold the roof too. So if the roof doesn't slide off, you don't have to stand here and hold it for a long time. The spice jars are wonderful for doing that. Now we're going to put this other piece on. Oh, I did want to mention one more thing. When you bring your gingerbread house out of the oven, it is going to be very hot. And you need to lay your piece on top of that gingerbread and then cut. And you need to hold it down. These little pliable pot holders like this are wonderful for holding it down so that you can cut. And you can find them at all of the different kitchen stores here in town, and they work very, very nice, because this can be sometimes very hot to the fingers, and you need to cut it while it's hot. Show you one of the reasons why you need to cut it while it's hot. This is a cold piece of gingerbread, and I am cutting it, and you'll see it breaks. It would often crack on the inside. You're not going to get a real nice even edge. You're taking a chance of it breaking into where you've cut your windows and that sort of thing. So it's much, much better to cut it while it's hot. And besides that, these nice pieces can be used for other things. These little chunks you can't. So I wanted to bring that to your attention there. I have here on the table all sorts of different things that we can use for decorating. And also when you're cutting, sometimes if your hand slips and you've made a little mistake and maybe you're a little short on one end, you can of course repair and it will never be noticed. This is a little extra piece from here that's just been glued on the bottom. Now I'm going to take my royal icing and put it on the 3 sides. You'll see that it fits just perfectly. Hold it with my little spice jar there so that it won't fall down, and let it set for a couple of minutes. Then after I've done that, at a time like this, before you put the roof on, is a good time to put a scene inside if that's one of the things that you want to do. I often put scenes inside my gingerbread houses. For instance, you can buy these little candy cups. They make wonderful little tables for inside your gingerbread houses. Or you can take candies like this, take them out of the paper, glue them together, and make little tables. Or I've often put like a little Santa bed in there with Santa in it. You can make little gingerbread men looking out the windows or whatever. Those work really nice. So this time right now, when it's before the roof is on is a good time to put your scene inside. It's also a good time to put your lights in if you decide that you want to do lights. Now, I had talked to you about the freezer wrap, and I wanted to show you the reason why I like using freezer wrap. When you lay this on the hot gingerbread, it does not leave a mark. This here, you see the rough edges in here, that is from using paper sack. A lot of people like, and I used to do this a lot, take your pattern and transform it onto paper sack and cut it out, or tin foil or cardboard or whatever. But when you set it on the hot gingerbread, it will pull gingerbread away. And your freezer wrap doesn't do that. So that is one of the reasons why I do that. Now this is one of the roof pieces. I like to cut my roof pieces out larger than the gingerbread house, so that I've got some eaves here on the side. And oh, thank you, dear. And on the bottom. So you see we have a nice little eave here that I can decorate with leaves and with frosting and that sort of thing. So I'm going to take my royal icing. Now, there are many ways to make royal icing. You've got your recipes out there where you take egg white and sugar, and you cook it over hot water and pray that it works. I have had some royal icing failures doing it that way. Or you can buy a wonderful product that you can find at many of our stores around town. Treasure Chest has it. Walmart does. Michael's does. In the craft departments or in the cake decorating departments, it's called meringue powder. You mix this with powdered sugar and water and beat it up, and it never fails. Never fails. One can about this size, for me, will last through 2 wedding cakes. For the average person, probably would last 3 years, I would assume. As I said before, never fails. And it's a wonderful product. So we have our roof on one side. As I'd mentioned before, I like to do my roofs slightly overdone so that they're stronger. You'll see it's a little darker on the side here than most of the rest of the gingerbread. There are many different styles. Everybody has their own style of doing gingerbread houses. My hobby is cake decorating, so I like to pipe leaves and flowers and things like that, where other people like using cookies and candies. No way is wrong. They're all wonderful. Every way of doing a gingerbread house is wonderful. The roof is where most of your decorating goes into. You'll see this here gingerbread house right here. Cookies. Someone wanted to know who got to lick all the frosting off of this. Anyway, this is the cookies. This is beautiful. And the children will love taking them apart and eating them. You know, I talked to someone the other day who said that he had a gingerbread house, and he's had it for years and years and years because he covered it with shellac. And some people do that. You end up with a real masterpiece and you want to keep it for years and years and years. You can do that. I prefer to say let the most fun of doing a gingerbread house is the doing. So let the children tear it apart. Let them eat it and enjoy it, and everyone else too. And then make another one next year. That's where the fun is. The fun is in doing it. And there is few things more delicious than the door of a gingerbread house and a cup of tea. Yeah. So I always tell them, leave me the door. Yeah. Here are some of the things that make for beautifully decorated roofs. This is slivered almonds. I did a slivered almond house years ago for a contest, and the next year on the front cover of one of our national magazines was my roof. Didn't have my name on it, but it was my roof. These chocolate candies, these make wonderful roofs. You'll notice this roof here. I got the idea for this roof from one of the ladies who had done gingerbread houses for the McDonald contest. This is Cinnamon Life cereal. And my husband likes this roof better than any of them. He thinks that's the most authentic looking roof. Pretzels are a wonderful thing for decorating because you can use them for fences. You can use them for wood piles, all sorts of wonderful things. Pretzels come in very handy. You'll see I've got red hots here. I have got glass candy that looks like ice. This is just, all these things add so much. A few years ago, they came up with the candy rock. This is just, makes the most realistic looking gingerbread houses. I have seen gingerbread houses totally covered with candy rock. And it's wonderful. This is chunk sugar, and it makes wonderful walkways. It's very, very nice for things like that. Also here, cinnamon and sugar, also wonderful for walkways. And white chocolate makes beautiful roofs and other things of that sort. You may notice on this here particular gingerbread house, we have a little tree over here in the corner that was done with an ice cream cone that I shortened. Ice cream cones make wonderful trees for your gingerbread houses. Also, you can just use a tree cookie cutter and cut them out and place them around, and that will work very, very well. You'll see here we have on the market so many, many things. I noticed on the top of this gingerbread house, she has these little candies. Really adds a lot of color and interest to the gingerbread house. A candy that's sometimes difficult to find, Neckos, but many wonderful things can be done with these Neckos for a gingerbread house. Well, we are reasonably set here. I have a door. I scored this before it went into the oven. I scored it with a knife, like this, to make it look like a wood plank door. That's always a lot of fun. And it adds a lot of, you'll see that it will fit right here. I like to do them with the door slightly open, so I'll frost it so that it will be slightly open. And then I have a door for the back here. When I do gingerbread houses, I like to have every part of the house decorated. The backs, the sides, the front. You see this here, one here, she has two rooms, the one attached to the front, that part, and then of course she has doors here in the back, and she used small candy canes for a heart window. This is a very, very fun idea. And then cookie cutter Christmas trees on the outside. Whoa. The bounces. These are wonderful. Of course, everybody loves to eat them. But I found that when I'm doing balconies such as this, these are wonderful for holding it up because they're so easy to break off to just the right size. You may notice on the back here that I have one that is still there holding it up. But you can break them off to just the right size, and they hold up those balconies so nicely. Providing you can keep the family out of them long enough to use on your gingerbread house. They are a delicious candy. This is called rolled fondant. Rolled fondant is very popular now with wedding cakes. When I first started doing rolled fondant, one of my daughters wanted a rolled fondant cake for her wedding, and they didn't have it on the market. Then I had to make it myself. This is much nicer, much easier. It's a very pliable white frosting that you can shape into, well, snowmen would be nice. I have often rolled it out with a rolling pin and laid it on top of the cake. It makes a beautiful roof, snow on top of a roof. There are just so many things that you can do with rolled fondant. And this also can be found in the same places that you can find meringue powder, which are, as I said before, the craft department at Walmart or Michael's or at Treasure Chest. You can find rolled fondant. It's like playing with clay. Children love to play with it. And it is. It's a wonderful product. Now, we're going to do some decorating on this particular gingerbread house. See if we can't make it look festive. I'm using a frosting bag, which is these parchment triangles. And you make a cone, put a tip inside, and then just swiggle all the way around the window. Usually when I do this when the pieces are laying flat before they've been put together. But today, for speed time, we're doing it while it is put together. So we have a little frosting there. I'm going to put some leaves on it. Little dunce cap. They're very easy to make. You just bring all those corners up together and fold it down, and you've got your little dunce cap. If you don't have tips at your house, just taking a piece of wax paper, cutting it into a triangle, make a dunce cap, put the frosting in, cut a little hole at the end, and that will help with your decorating. This is royal icing that I have colored green. The longest part of doing a gingerbread house is all the different things you want to do to it after you've got it together. That's what I have been known to spend a week doing things to my houses. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Is this on the movie?
And you want to say hello to the audience?
Hello, audience.
We are doing gingerbread houses.
Gingerbread house.
Yes, we are.
Well, how nice.
Yes, we are. We're doing gingerbread houses at Southgate Mall.
Really?
Yeah. My frosting's a little bit cold, so I need to kind of warm it up here a little bit. Red Hots, that seems to be kind of a staple for gingerbread houses. You can, of course, find them everywhere, and the children love them. We're making gingerbread houses, my dear. We will attach our door. Wherever you put the frosting, wherever it's going to hit a surface. Wherever it hits a surface, that's where you put the frosting. There we have our door. I'm going to put some candy rock up here just for a little color. Perhaps you might like to have a walkway. Walkways are always fun. This is cinnamon. Now, when I'm doing something right on a form, such as this piece of cardboard, then I might use something like this, which is not, it's not edible in that the cinnamon is shaved cinnamon stick, but the children don't eat the cardboard board anyway, so, and it adds a wonderful smell, and it also gives you a really delightful country look. I am going to put a roof on, a frosting roof, so I think what we will do, seeing as you are all here and you've seen our rolled fondant, we're going to use rolled fondant. They call it that because you roll it. As you can see, it's like clay. When I'm doing rolled fondant for a wedding cake, I will put flavoring in it. And if I were doing it for a gingerbread house that I would be giving to someone, I would put flavoring in it. Could I use this little girl for a second? Would you like to come give me a hand here? How would you like to hold this? You want to hold this? You don't want to get messy. Well, I'm not going to let you get messy. You just hold this pan down. How's that? You hold it down. Well, I guess I need a bigger little girl, actually. Yeah. We're working on a piece of tablecloth that is very, very slick. So we'll do it like this until we got it really pliable. You did very nicely, thank you. And you didn't get messy. How about that? Yes, we do. We need something to make it look bright and pretty, don't we? Yeah. As you can see, you can with enough work on it, and if, of course, if I had a better table for rolling it out, I could cover the whole thing. Gives you a nice snowy-like look over the top. Bring some of it down here. And then how about the rest of that roof? We do have cinnamon life, such as we used there, or slivered almonds, or we have the chocolate. So I think we're going to use the chocolate here. How about this? Does this look good? Yeah, you like this, right? Yeah, I do too. When you're putting a roof on, when you're putting these things on the roof, you do it as you would bricks. You line them up. Yeah, you want one? Sure, you can have. Oh, very good, right there. Oh, that's perfect. I'll put one here. You put one right there. Right, okay, we need this one right here. Now I'm gonna fix some more frosting and we'll do another row, shall we? We need to do another row, yeah. So, well, we gotta have frosting to hook it with. So, we'll put some frosting in this and do another row. Okay? Here we are. Okay, are you ready? Have you got it ready? Okay. Here we go. Want to bring it over and put it on? Okay. I'll show you right where to put it. Okay. As you may have noticed, I've just now put a second line. Put it right here. Right like that. So just as if you are layering bricks right over the crack of where the other two have met, you put this one. And this is what you'll do over the whole roof. Yeah, right there. Okay, right there, baby. Oh, very good. Yes, you're doing a nice job. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, very good. Right there. All right. Yes, now we would bring this up the whole side of the house. Right like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we got... Okay. Okay, very good. Uh-huh. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, right there, baby. Okay, we'll just bring it in a little bit, right there. Okay, now then, you would cover your whole roof. We'll take some more rolled fondant here. Yeah. Some more of our frosting clay. And you would cover all the way down the sides with your rolled fondant and your chocolate. Okay, another one. Very good. Let's put it right here. Okay. Is that good? Yeah, that took care of all of those, didn't it? Yeah. That's the gingerbread. On this side of the house, we'll do the same thing here, give you an idea, with the Life cereal. It gives you a wonderful thatched look. We're hoping that all of our audience is considering putting together gingerbread houses for the contest. It's on the 19th of this month, the 19th of November. Bring your gingerbread houses into the mall by between 3 and 5. Is that right, Janice? Between 3 and 5. And And then the judging will be that evening, first, second, and third in several different categories. Children under the age of 5, families and individuals, businesses, expert and chefs, clubs. There's a category for clubs, senior citizens, clubs such as, say for instance, Girl Scouts, Brownies, Boy Scouts, whatever, senior citizens, church groups. There's a category for each one of these, and there'll be a first, second, and third in each of these categories. Oh, my little helper went to get herself a candy cane. Laying it just as you would bricks. That gives it the more natural look. Put a layer down, then the next layer goes in between, and the same with the third layer, in between. One of the nice things about using something like this cereal is that it's easy to break to make sure that you fit in these narrow places like here. And this, of course, is, can be done with the cookies, with candy, whatever strikes your fancy. This would be done actually over the entire roof, and then you would put your snow on top. Here the snow is royal icing. Snow is royal icing there, and here the snow is rolled fondant. You've noticed, of course, that I did the Christmas tree out of a ice cream cone. Not the flat-topped ones, got to be the pointed ones. And also, other things that make wonderful Christmas trees are, believe it or not, they're not edible, but they make absolutely gorgeous Christmas trees, and that's pine cones. You know, just take a pine cone, and with your green frosting, put a leaf on each and every one of those little rises on the pine cone, and then set it down. It makes a beautiful Christmas tree.
Some of my candy.
Did you? Was it good?
That was a gingerbread candy.
The things that you cut out of your windows, now like I use that heart cookie cutter, they make wonderful steps. They make beautiful places to put green frosting for plants on the outside, or upside down like this, they make a darling fence. They make a very, very sweet fence. You just attach it with a little royal icing and set them, whoops, we lost one of our chocolates. There we go, back again. How about that? Shall I do you want to do some fence?
Yes.
Okay. You want to put the fence down. We're right next to the other one. Uh-huh. Here's another one. Oh, sure. Okay. Put one back here. Oh, you still found one of these, huh? Okay, very good. So we have a little fence there. Now, these also make beautiful fences. My favorite thing, though, to do with the pretzels is to make wood piles. Should we make a wood pile?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. I put a couple of lines of frosting down.
Can I do it?
Yes, I'll give you some. Wonderful. What is this young lady's name? Anna. Anna. Ooh, I like that name, Anna. That's very nice. Okay, Anna, now we've got to put some more frosting down. We're making a nice tall wood pile. So we need to put these on top. You see that? Now, I'm going to put another bit of frosting on, and you can put the next ones on, okay? Here you go, Anna. Right on top. Okay? That's perfect. Perfect. Very, very good. Very nice. There, we have a wood pile. How do you like that? Huh? Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Can you make a door?
Oh, we need a door. We do. Anna just happened to notice that we have a hole back here. We need a door. So, it's, oh, you want that door closed, huh? Okay, well, you're our creative person here. We'll let you close the door. Okay, this is the back door, Hannah, right here. So, shall we put the door on? Okay.
It's a little door.
A little door, right there. How's that, Anna? Now we have a door. Okay. Now my green frosting dried up on the way into town, so we're not going to be able to do leaves, but we can decorate it with some candies. Shall we do that?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, very good. Hello. Now, we have to take the wrappings off, Hannah, and this is not easy when you've got young fingers and old fingers. Okay, here we go, Anna. Come here, hon. Here, you want to put this one on? Right here. Can you see? Can you hold it? Got it? Right there. Oh, hey, isn't that going to look nice? What we're doing is we're going to run those candies right up the front and add some color. Yeah. Okay, you need frosting. Well, you beat me to it, didn't you? Okay, here we go. Some frosting for you. Okay. Okay, Anna, put it right here. You see where my finger is? Right there. Can you do that? Right there? Oh, you want to find a different place for it? Well, okay. The wonderful thing about letting children work on these gingerbread houses is they got their own ideas, right? Yes. Right there? Is that where you want to put it?
I want it right over there.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good. I'll let you do that. Here, let me give you some. Oh, you got some frosting? Okay, very good. Oh, you're good. Yes, you are. Okay. So, Carolyn should have come with all of these wrappings off, huh? Who would have thought we were going to do this? Never pre-plan your gingerbread house. It's always the best to do it as you go along. Do we need to put some ice cubes out in the yard?
Yes.
We do, yes. Okay, let's do that. These ice cubes can be bought at the candy stores. We have one right here in the mall. Look at that, Anna. We got some ice right there. You don't suppose this is Santa's house, do you? First, we got to put some frosting on the bottom. We got to put some frosting on the back. Okay, now where do we want to stick it? Where would you like to put it? Oh, good idea. Okay. Very nice. Okay, you want another one? Well, there's another one right here, and you can put it on this side. Okay, here you go. Anna, you want to stick it right here? Yeah, right there. Okay, right. Slivered almonds. I got an idea. Let's put them right here. Put them right back there. Okay. One time I did a gingerbread house it was called the Holiday Inn. I don't know what they call it now. It's a motel on Broadway and Mullen Road. Anyway, I did a gingerbread village for them, actually, for their lobby. And the next year, a cake decorating magazine that I subscribed to came in the mail. And the mail lady yells at me, "Oh my goodness, Carolyn, there's your gingerbread house on the front cover." Well, the gingerbread village on the front cover. Well, I took a look, it was, but my name wasn't on it. And so I called up Holiday Inn and I said, "My gingerbread village is on the front cover of this magazine. And I don't understand. It says a chef from North Dakota made it." And he says, "Well, that could be because we had a convention of Holiday Inn chefs at our motel. They apparently took a picture of my village, went home and duplicated it, entered a contest and won." Oh, that's good. Where would you like to put it? Good place, good place. Here, I'll tell you what, I will draw a heart and you can put candy on that heart. All right? Now, this is what we'll do. I will hold it like this and you shake it on. Yeah. Oh, good. See, right on that heart. Oh, doesn't that look good? All right.
Can I get these?
Yes, you can have those. Okay. We have a candy heart on the back. Yeah. Okay. How about some snowflakes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, let's put some snowflakes on. Okay.
Right?
I'd like to see this girl do some sugar cookies, huh? Wow. Oh, inside too? Okay, let's do some snowflakes, shall we? Here you go, babe.
I'm putting some on.
Oh, like she did on that one over there, huh? Like that? Whoops. For those of you who are new, I have an assistant here. Her name is Anna. And she's into candy.
We need some more gel.
We need some more of these, huh? Okay. Okay. Okay, we got to put frosting on them. Okay, put it somewhere. Oh, perfect. Now, this would definitely be a gingerbread house that a grandmother would love. Say that this is a wall. Here, to do a two-story house, I'll take a wooden dowel and cut it to this width. I'll put a little frosting to attach it on all four walls. Then I cut a ceiling floor that will fit on top of those wooden dowels. And then you have a second story. Yeah, if you don't have parchment paper, you can buy these already cut. You can get them at any of the cake decorating places already cut. If you don't have parchment paper triangles, take a piece of wax paper, cut it into a triangle, put your thumb at the bottom, bring the right-hand side up, make a dunce cap, bring the left-hand side around, kind of move them until you've got them all together on the end here, and it's closed at the bottom. Fold it over, and you've got a frosting cone. Very, very simple. Wax paper works very nicely. You'll end up with a smaller cone, but it works very nicely. They introduce you all to Janice Minear. And
It's a pleasure to be able to be around Carolyn and learn some more. I always learn a lot when she is instructing us, and it's fun to have her. She's just a gem. I just wanted to tell you a bit about the Ronald McDonald House being built. This spring is when they're planning it over by Community Hospital. They're very excited because things are coming to culmination on that project, and we've been working with them on this gingerbread house contest for the 4th year. This is our 4th year. but it will provide a much needed home for families that come from out of town for medical care for their children. Pregnant women sometimes that need to stay close to a facility, close to a child that may be in the intensive care there, the pediatric care, and just a wonderful place for them to receive support and a comfortable place to stay and group up. So we're excited to have that in Missoula and appreciate Carolyn's support in helping us make that come to pass.
Thank you. Thank you. We really appreciated being here to give this demonstration. We really appreciate MCAT for being here and filming this. This has been fun. I'm not very good in front of a camera and wish we had some really photogenic person up here doing this for you. But well, we did. We had Anna. And she's still working on it. But we want to thank the people from MCAT for doing this because this is a project for a nonprofit organization. So, yes, and thank all of you for coming and watching.